as life ceases to comfort you, see that within each struggle is a choice. Every experience will teach you the way to find courage in your voice. Today is a special episode, 100 podcast episodes straight, week to week, and I'm sharing with you 3 important lessons that I've learned from publishing a book and 100 episodes of the podcast. You will learn the habits of a highly effective storyteller, plus so much more to really help you tap into your potential. I'm excited for this one. Let's get into the intro and then today's flow.
Life is not linear. It's a magnificent dance that invites us to be more than we can imagine. But that doesn't mean growing is easy. I'm George Kalantzis, and welcome to Tough Transitions. In this podcast, I'll share stories from my own life and the stories of others so you can fully accept yourself and rewrite the way you see the world, to stop holding yourself back from your best self and your extreme power. This is your path. Your life is unfolding exactly the way it was intended. Learn how to connect your heart, listen to your voice, and free yourself from limitations and expectations so you can claim your true, unlimited potential.
Welcome to the Friday Flow. I can't believe it's April 22nd. Today I'm doing something completely different. I actually planned this out the night before. Yeah, it's different because it's a special episode. 100 podcast episodes. So today I'm bringing you the lessons I've learned from publishing 100 podcast episodes, but also publishing a book and continuing to dive deeper into the storytelling. So what you're going to learn is actually the habits of what I call a highly effective storyteller. But of course, we got to start with the story. Let's pretend that you've decided you want to write a book. Maybe start a podcast, maybe start a business. Maybe you crave more freedom in life. Maybe you're sick of working long hours for a company that treats you like another number. Or maybe you've hit rock bottom and realize you have nowhere to go. Okay, you got me. That was my story. But chances are, if you ever decided to make a change and you're searching for the next big thing with tactics and strategies, you've probably felt empty, exhausted, depressed, and really aren't sure why. If that is the case, today I'm going to share with you the habits of a highly effective storyteller and the 3 lessons I've learned from publishing my book and 100 podcasts along the way. Here's number 1. Every choice you make comes with a consequence. Hey, like you, I like to think of myself as a reflective human, but truthfully, I'm really not. I think, like you, I'm irrational at times, choosing things in life based on reactivity rather than thoughtful reflection. I'm only human. But I also think that we tend to rely on high expectations while biting off more than we can chew in hopes of our self-discipline and motivation to get us through tough times. As a result, we often miss out on what's needed to achieve what we actually set out to do in the first place. Because the truth is, success, it results from a series of habit stackings and patience as it does hard work. It's not just hard work and it will get there. I think we mistakenly search for strategies and tactics while ignoring that those things are never what actually lead to success. Because what you repeatedly do forms who you are right now and who you become. This means that everything in your life right now is a reflection of your choices that you have made and a product of your environment. Which means if you are miserable working for somebody else, forcing yourself to go out on your own is unlikely to help you achieve freedom for success. Or if you were miserable in a relationship before and you don't take the time to be single and get to know yourself on a deeper level, you're going to fall back to the same patterns that keep making you feel stuck in the first place. The reason why is we tend to stay away from what we actually need to do because we're so focused on the destination. The destination is sexy and fun, right? But when you focus on everything else, you actually miss out on ample opportunities in front of you along the way. Hey, I know what you're saying right now, George. Why are you all over the place? What the heck is the takeaway here? Well, here, instead of focusing on the next big thing, relationships, career, money, whatever it is, focus on creating small changes in your life by cultivating patience and learning how to stack new habits. Because most of your life is on autopilot. And when you find a way to reinvest your life by organizing your day into bite-sized practices to form better results, magic fucking happens. James Clear calls this habit stacking. To get here today, I needed to create an environment for success. And it started with stacking up my routines in life. Since I'm an early bird, rather than wake up and work out like I used to, I'd wake up, hydrate, and sit my ass down to meditate. And then after meditation, I journaled and wrote till my daughter woke up every day. This worked so well, not because I was magically a writer, but because early mornings were already a part of who I was. So rather than get overwhelmed with trying to figure out how to write a new book and start a new business, I linked my new habits to something familiar, waking up early. The result is nowhere to go and 100 podcast episodes and a new business. And so once you can learn the power of habit stacking, you can take advantage of the natural momentum from being aligned in your life. If you don't know what habit stacking is, go check out James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. This brings me to number 2, setting yourself up to win every day in life. Most people look at me and think it's easy for me to wake up every day, write for hours, train hard, and live my lifestyle because I'm a Marine. Some people have even think I've gone off the deep end with meditation, quitting drinking, and all the things I've written about. But none of this is true. If you know me, you know that I have a difficult time with single parenting, writing, building a business, and actually finding time to take care of myself. And yes, while I have been trained to survive and might have an advantage over the everyday person to keep my head down and do what I need to do, a survival mindset was not going to get me through tough times. It was not going to allow me to write a book. It was not going to get me to my 100th podcast episode. And so if I wanted to do all that and be here today, I'd have to eliminate decision fatigue, because willpower would only get me so far. We only have a finite amount each day we wake up. And if you've ever heard about that marshmallow experiment with kids, you know what I'm talking about. What have I learned from setting myself up for success? Well, most of our behaviors in life are determined by our feelings rather than logic. We usually do things in life without ever questioning why we make those choices. This means that underneath it all, we actually deny ourselves our true desires based on what we think we should do, rather than find time to listen to our intuition and create space to trust ourselves along the path. If what I'm talking about here sounds a bit outrageous, it did for me too when I first started and heard it all. In 2021, I attended a conference with George Bryant. First time I ever met this guy. Now he's a great friend in my life. One of the discussions was on time and money. We had to break down our lives as detailed as possible to see where we were leaking energy and time. I broke my schedule into what I could potentially make per hour, or if I filled that time with clients in writing. And we did a cost and benefit analysis of having groceries delivered and hiring a cleaner. Because when it came down to my week on average, I ended up spending hours cleaning the house and getting groceries without even knowing it. Today, I have a bi-monthly cleaner and I order weekly groceries. I was doing these things without these services because I thought it's what I needed to do as a single father. Yet that was just a bullshit story that kept me stuck. Can you feel me? And yes, at first it was costly to hire a cleaner. But looking back, it was well worth the amount of time and willpower saved. And I probably wouldn't be here right now on my 100th podcast episode or even finish Nowhere to Go if I didn't do it. And so once you are actually honest with your life and you do a full audit and find ways to eliminate all the clutter, you'll have energy that aligns with who you want to become by creating an environment for success, because it just doesn't happen. And then eventually, when you can stack your habits and set yourself up for success, you change your lifestyle because it makes you feel good, not because you feel as if you should be doing certain things. You'll do things like daily meditation, journaling, and exercise because it's aligned with who you are and who you want to become. And that leads to massive momentum in your life. Which brings me to the last lesson. The juice is in the journey, baby. There have been many moments in my life where I felt like I literally had nowhere to go. And if you've been listening, you know it wasn't that long ago, just 3 years ago now, where I lost everything. And yet here I am today, speaking to you on my 100th podcast episode in writing as an author. I won't give you the detail because you can go read my book if you want. It's out everywhere books are sold if you haven't got it. And right now, Amazon has cut the price by more than 50%, which is crazy. But I will share this. I wish I could have slowed down earlier in my life. When I got out of the Marines, I rushed into everything I thought a man needed to do. And those stories tricked me. And I think society tricks a lot of us into searching for instant gratification as well. Social media can be a great thing, but it definitely bribes us into chasing certainty and stepping into other people's lives without even knowing who they truly are. And so the truth is, everything that you can ever want and need is happening right now in front of you. Because the thought of certainty is a concept. It doesn't exist. There are so many things available in front of you right now. And the future doesn't exist because everything happens right now. I've never been to the future. Have you? That's one of the things we can discover when we surrender our search to be everywhere but here. Our mind, it will stop searching for problems so our heart can open up to clarity and trust as our body surrenders and lets go so we can become who we were meant to become. Remember this, life is full of opportunities. And if you find ways to invest in your relationships, your body, and yourself, you will become unstoppable. Maybe not right now, but it will pay off later down the road. And so no matter where you are at on your journey, take a moment to have compassion for how far you've come. You are where you need to be. And so thank you for being on this journey with me. 100 episodes is no easy feat. And my heart is filled with extreme gratitude for all you who have supported me along the way, for listening to this podcast, for trusting me with your life in reference to coaching, for purchasing my book, and for reaching out to me, for sending me emails, for everything. I am extremely grateful. Now I have a special gift for you, but you're going to have to do two things. You're going to have to leave me a review of the podcast and send me a screenshot, and then DM me on Instagram at _George Kalantzis to let me know what you thought of the podcast. And I will send you a special gift personally signed as a thank you for all the support along the way. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I got some awesome guests and interviews that you're not going to want to miss because the podcast is cranking up.
Did you just like what you heard? Then make sure to check out my book, Nowhere to Go, Navigating Tough Transitions. It's available everywhere books are sold. You can also now get it from me for $1 digitally at theartoftoughTransitions.com, where you have an option to upgrade to a 5-day masterclass to really help you break free of the limitations and expectations of the world so you can tap into your true potential. Because what are you waiting for? Life is this magnificent dance that invites you to be more than you could ever imagine, but only if you give yourself permission to be open to the many tunes in front of you right now. Thanks for listening. Share it, review it, and I'll see you around soon.